Figure skating once again makes world news for all the wrong reasons. U.S. figure skaters participated in a media summit. There is new to many of us information about Nikolaj Sørensen and so much more. Join me as I dive into this week's Olympic season happenings. But first, don't forget to like, share, hype, and subscribe for more figure skating related content. As many of y'all know, this ice dance team from China held a stuffed ballistic missile in the Kiss and Cry at Cup of China. According to many news reports, the ISU is now investigating the two ice dancers and were quoted saying the ISU is aware that an inappropriate soft toy seems to have been among those thrown on the ice by spectators following performance at the ISU Figure Skating Grand Prix Cup of China event on October 25th. The soft toy was subsequently held by the skaters who had just performed. The ISU regrets the incident and will investigate further. So we shall see how that shakes out. And now for some Nikolaj Sørensen updates. Before I get into it, I'm going to link to the story that was broken by The Broken Ice. Oh my gosh, I really did not mean to make that pun. On Substack. I will link it down below. Please give it a read. I'm just going to summarize briefly. I don't want to steal their thunder. They go into really great detail. Buckle up, y'all, because this is maddening. So as many of y'all know, in June 2025, an arbitrator overturned a suspension for Nikolaj Sørensen for the ongoing investigation of SA, stating that Nikolaj had actually not agreed to be bound by any retroactive investigation into his code of conduct, and this was through Universal Code of Conduct to Prevent and Address Maltreatment in Sport, UCCMS. But guess what, y'all? Apparently he did sign this form. This is where you're going to throw some plates, say WTF, shout so loud your dog gets upset, okay, so he actually did sign this form. So let me give some backstory. The purpose of this form through UCCMS is that all skaters from Skate Canada must sign it in order to compete internationally. What this form does is give the OSIC, which is the Office of the Sport Integrity Commissioner, which is Canada's National Sport Integrity Office, the authority to investigate past misconduct, even if it occurred before an athlete's formal consent. So here's what's maddening. So he signed this in January 2023. And then when the form was amended, he signed the form again in the summer of 2024, it looks like. So then this man is saying that he didn't consent because he felt pressured to consent in order to compete. What in the world? Y'all, I can't. Okay, this is wild to me because I'm a neuropsychologist and I see so many patients who should not be allowed to sign things, but because they haven't had their capacity taken away legally, they are still legally responsible for what they signed. But because this man said he was stressed out or under distress or felt pressure to sign it, y'all, I'm going to crash out. I can't believe that this excuse was able to be used. What? Is this real life? Okay, so because he felt like he was under duress when he signed it, he, I guess, didn't technically, according to him, consent. Well, why don't we all just say when our student loans, when we signed them, we were under stress and now we don't have to pay our student loans? What is wrong with society? What is wrong with this? I can't. So then it gets even more, the story, if you thought that was maddening, there's just things just keep happening that makes you want to just scream into the distance. Okay, so what else is going on is there's actually some indication that he may have been a member of the Canadian Figure Skating Federation in 2012. And that's when this damn incident happened. Oh my God. Okay, what? Okay, so some backstory. The survivor, as well as a director of sanctions, which is an OSIC official. So they both appealed this stupid, terrible decision to say that he is out of their jurisdiction. So that is why some of these things are coming out now, and good for them. They found these two stupid things. Oh my God, I can't. Okay, so sorry. I'm stunned. I'm rereading this, and the more I reread it, the more I want to just throw something down my stairs for dramatic effect. So he may have actually been a member of Skate Canada in 2012 when this incident happened, but guess what? He said that he was not affiliated with Canadian sport in 2012. But the Broken Ice reviewed a 2017 interview where they said they signed paperwork with Skate Canada in 2012. And this Reddit user found this key information from 2012. Oh my God. Okay, so then it gets even more like you thought that was it. What we found out, what Broken Ice just dropped on us is that all this information about like Sørensen's membership with Skate Canada, none of the stuff was actually requested by the original OSIC investigator or the arbitrator during the appeal process. Why is this happening? No one. Okay, so the survivor said she really feels like Skate Canada has like basically actively worked against her. And I don't blame her for thinking like the more you read, the more you're just like ready to throw things. Sorry, I feel like you guys are finding out some of this stuff with me in real time because I read it, but then I reread this. Like I can't. So he found some loopholes and then no one actually investigated the loopholes. But I don't know how like to even move on from this. I'm gonna just like, no. Just reading all of this is maddening. There's just so much information here that I recommend you read because it is very enlightening. In fact, at one point, it's quoted saying, however, sources close to the case told Broken Ice that no evidence has been presented to confirm any July 2024 competition that would have required his signature. So it didn't even look to see if he signed a stupid consent. Okay, I'm going to have to move on from this because you guys will just hear me go, what? No, over and over. So there is no proper way to move on from a maddening story that makes me want to punch a table. But let's move on to talk about how it was Amber's birthday. And again, I hate to be insensitive, but like I'm just going to like crash out. And so in order to not crash out, it's Amber's birthday today and the day that I'm filming this. So happy birthday to Amber. She got to also spend her birthday going to a media summit for Team USA that was timed to be around the 100 days leading up to the Winter Olympics. Oh my God, it's coming, y'all. And Jason joined her, Alisa, and Maddie, and Evan. And I will also link to the videos from these interviews. Briefly, for Amber's, I talked about how it was her birthday, and someone asked her in the audience, like, how she felt about the controversy of her short program song. She answered the question really well. I feel like that'd be one of those questions that if someone asked me, I'd just like, ugh. So she talked about how the song could have a different meaning for different people and how it can be a beautiful song to some. But what she really turned it around on, which was awesome, was talking about how using a song is good for the queer community. And she used the words queer. And I say that because I don't want you guys to think I'm like using it derogatory, because Madonna is a champion for them. And something she discussed is she attributed a lot of the success that she's had lately is because she's been an advocate for the LGBTQ plus community and for mental health concerns. And she has felt like that's helped her really succeed. And something that was really sweet that she talked about is like that used to be the idea of making the Olympic team was something that just seems so out of reach to her, and that she's hoping she gets to go to Milano. And I hope you do too. Or is it Milano? Why am I getting this mixed up? It must be because I'm still dying over that like news that was just slammed in our direction. Jason also attended this media summit. He talked about how since he last went to the Olympics in 2014, or since his first Olympics, in 2014, the field has changed very much towards upping the technical abilities. And for him, what he's been wanting to do is prove to other athletes that there are other ways to succeed in the field and how others have given him encouragement about how amazing of a skater he is. Of course, he didn't word it like that, but we all know what all these people are saying to him, that he's amazing. And that he became an ambassador for the Ronald McDonald House as a way to give back. This was really sweet to the communities that hosted him during competitions. And something I found that just kind of charming. He's like, my goal is to visit 26 Ronald McDonald houses around the world in honor of the 2026 Olympics. And then they asked him how many. He's like, 24. I've done 24 already. Like, how cute is that? He has 2 more to go, and he said he'll keep going. Like, he's not going to just stop at 26. And he brought back river dance as like a way to say thank you to his fans that have supported him, which is so freaking sweet. Alysa Liu's interview, I cracked up so much. I find her amazing. So someone had asked her like what she did when she was off for 2 years from skating. And I love that the person who asked this question later followed up with the same things I was thinking because it was hilarious. So real casual. She's like, yeah, normal teenager stuff. Like she got her driver's license. She went to concerts. She went shopping for clothes and for figure skating. Went to UCLA. I'll be on summited like Mount Everest base camp. She said it so freaking casual. It was hilarious. I love that, like, she just real casual. Like, yeah, I went at Mount Everest base camp. Someone had asked her also, like, looking back at herself at age 13 when she won her first senior national title, kind of how she's reflected on that. And she talked about how she and her younger self are just two different people. And Maddie and Evan, they talked about how they really love improving and working on their self-improvement as like a team and a couple skating. And that, like, skating has been the greatest teacher for them. They mentioned that they feel very inspired by Team USA and other skaters. When someone asked if they feel bitter about the fact they didn't get their podium moment at Beijing, they said they don't and talked about, like, how they look forward, like, to the future. I'm guessing, hopefully, they're probably thinking, like, yeah, our Paris moment was good enough. Because let me tell you, I feel like I would be a little salty about that. But they did have their nice moment in Paris. Also, Team USA has just been releasing much more media things with figures getting involved. So here's Isabeau. Here's also the Shibatanis. I mean, we knew it was coming. I don't know why I was surprised. It's not like, never mind, we refrain from discussing that because I don't want to summons someone. You have to go back and read the comments from the past Shibatani video to see what I'm talking about. And then Ilya and Alisa, of course, and then Amber, and of course, the king and queen. Chock and Bates were featured. I think that Maddie is also sponsored by a medication. That feels so random. No, I've got to check this. Is she really sponsored by medicine, like a medicine company? She is. She's sponsored by a medicine. Oh, they do sponsor Team USA things. Interesting. Okay. I don't know. It felt random to me. So another sponsorship for Madison Chock. So Cal is going back to his free skate from last season. I'm not quite sure why. I don't know if he thinks this might help him feel more confident in his programs. It's disappointing because I feel like the other program we could have seen it to its full potential eventually. But I guess like if he thinks this is going to help him out and this is going to make him be more confident while he skates, then I'm okay with it, as if he has to get my permission, of course. But we shall see how going back help. Like some people find it helpful. Olivia Smart, and I'll link this down below as well. She has a YouTube channel. I found it fascinating and enlightening. Also, she like on point with the sound system, the lighting, like you can tell she either knows what she's doing or she had someone that knows what they're doing step in. It was awesome. Anyway, I digress. She is planning to use this channel to talk about her personal life as well as ice dance experiences. One thing is she said that I'm like, wow, you said that real casual, which means like this has been normalized. So when she was a teenager, she was thinking about being a normal teenager. And then like her family was like, LOL, no, guess what? You're going to go live in America to train as an ice dancer. I mean, she had been, of course, an ice dancer before then, but like she had thought about stopping the sport. And then they're like, LOL, no. She said, the real casual, man. Like, interesting. I really did like to hear her perspective, and I hope she does more videos. I hope she does them weekly. Like, can we have the run through and Olivia Smart like every week, please? And for some brief updates from Russian figure skating, Adeliia Petrosian attempted a quad toe in her free skate and ended up getting caught at a quarter, and she fell on it as well. It doesn't look like it's ready yet. I imagine, just because of how hard those girls work, that it will be ready by then, by the Olympics. But we shall see. Like, I don't know the status of her injury and so on. And she was quoted recently, actually, talking about how she has a small bag that she carries with her everywhere full of medications that she always takes with her. However, before this was deleted off of Reddit, someone had mentioned that this was a mistranslation and that what it was talking about was how she was bringing like a first aid kit with her places. So I don't know the whole context of that, and I would like to hear maybe someone that knows both Russian and English to kind of give me the scoop on that, please, before I comment on it. Oh, how did I almost forget this big news? So, I have been hearing for months that Alisa and Misha are married. Like, I have been hearing that for quite a while. It all started when I stumbled upon one of those forums. I can't remember which one. And people were talking about how they found like I don't know if it was a marriage certificate or like a mortgage or a lease or something that where he wrote he was married on it. Something like that. Someone did like the investigative work. But I wasn't always 100% sure because like you never know. And yeah. So then at Worlds, after hearing all of this, I remember the moment, and a lot of people talk about this, when he spun her around to show her that there was a standing ovation, that's when people started getting like a little bit clued in. And that's when I think of like, oh, is this rumor true? Then I noticed a lot of just like their body language. Like they seem perfectly comfortable being under the blankie together at that like leader's chair. But there is moments where I'm like, oh, don't get like wrapped up too much in this bizarre rumor. Like I'm sure pair skaters are so comfortable with one another because you're literally around each other all the time. However, I just kept watching like their body language and be like, oh, don't be a psychologist, Jillian. Like, don't get in this whole like, oh, I'm reading their body language. They're together. However, but then they announced, or like the Skating Club of Boston actually announced that they are married and they are requesting an expedited citizenship so that she doesn't have to wait the usual 3 years that others have to wait when they marry someone that is a citizen of the United States. And they are making a case that they would be able to win a gold medal in the team event. It would help USA win a gold medal, which is actually probably true, to be honest. And so I don't know in this day and age, unfortunately, how much that's going to be helpful. I mean, I don't even want to speculate. I'm hopeful, but also pessimistic at the same time. And in terms of them being married, like for the potential of citizenship, like I guess I just don't care in life. Like there's so many terrible things going on like this. Two adults married could be worse. Piper and Paul teamed up with, I don't think I can actually say this right. Have I ever actually heard anyone verbalize this brand out loud? Because I've heard like Lululemon and I've heard Lululemon and like whatever. So they teamed up with that brand with the fancy name that lets you do yoga in their stores every now and then to make Skate Canada bomber jackets made for the 2025 national team, which probably will be rocking it maybe at the Olympics. I don't know. And so then they gifted them to other skaters. Also, although I'm not going to Europeans, I was so fired up on so many of y'all's behalf because I was seeing on Blue Sky that originally for Europeans, people were not going to be permitted to leave the arena for like the whole day. They were going to be held captive, which is maddening. I cannot tell you how much just being at Boston Worlds. Like, thankfully, we had the other issue where they kicked us out, which was dumb. But like so many times, I'm like, I need a vegetable or I'm dying. I'm getting scurvy. Like something's like going to take me out here. So I couldn't imagine being forced to eat arena food all day, held captive at the arena and not allowed in or out. But that's changed. However, there's still some like quirkiness. Like at least people can now bring their medications. But if there's certain medications that you need, like you have to disclose it and have your doctor's note, which feels like I can see why, but also it feels awkward as well. Like imagine having to disclose like, hey, I need XYZ, having to share all your personal information. But at least they're no longer like if somebody wanted to bring Tylenol in, having to get a doctor's note. Also, Alysa Liu for the media summit showed off her way of just styling the shirts that were given to them. I adore this woman.
So, how I made this shirt tutorial. So I cut here. I also cut this part and this part to make it all even. And then I used
show the tie.
I used this to make a little necktie.
Oh my god, what a queen. We love it.
All right, y'all. Thanks for being with me as I crashed out. I'm sure like y'all are like, what is wrong with this person? Y'all just kind of watched me or listened to me in real time, reabsorb the news. That was complete and total trash, basically. All right, y'all. See you for Skate Canada. At least I will have slept. I will not be doing a recap half asleep like I did this cup of China. Who knows what all I said there. But don't forget to like, share, hype, and subscribe for more figure skating related content.